DonnaEddy.com is all about movement. Level 3 version of the number 7 is going to be targeting the upper end of the hip flexor group. You're still going to be feeling it across the hip joint and still feeling it down in the thigh a little bit. You're going to be side onto a wall with a little bit of a gap, about a hand space away from the wall, because we're going to move the hips towards the wall once we get into the stretch position. So we bring the foot further away from the wall forward, working on tucking the tail. And this is where your pelvic mobility and pelvic control really comes into play. Tucking the tail so your pubic bone is the most forward point, and you've wound up the hip and probably got a little bit of a pull happening in the hip already. From there, you're going to try and push the hips forward by squeezing the back glute. So you're going to clench that back glute. It helps with the tuck. Keep the abdominals engaged. You're going to bring your arm forward out of the way so you can then push your hips into the wall. And there's a couple of variations for the other hand. Just resting on the leg, but the preference is to slide this arm down to get this shoulder out of the way. Tuck a little bit more. Lift the chest, slide it down, slide this arm up, and then you're going to lean away from the wall and lean back, looking up slightly. So we're aiming to open up through this abdominal line, through the side line, and affect the hip, from the hip joint up into the abdomen. Squeeze that back glute, tuck that tail a little more, try and lunge forward a little bit without losing that nice flatness through the lower back. So you basically tuck so that you lose the lumbar arch. Reach a little bit further away, making sure you're glued to the wall with that hip. Tuck that one down a little further, and then lift the chest and look up a little further.